Sports stories from the 419 in Northwest Ohio, brought to you by a voice you know. It's time to go around the area and around the Hearn.
Welcome into a brand new edition of Around the Hearn, the first one here in the month of June. Summertime things, keeping this from being a regular thing, but I'm working on a track and field put away for maybe next week or whenever I can get some guests. So if you'd like to hear about track and field, if you want to come on, talk about results, talk about some of the things that happened last weekend in Columbus, please hit me up. The DMs are open on Twitter. I'm a pretty easy person to find. This week, though, it's a preview of a Division 4 in a state baseball tournament taking place Thursday. That's technically today. As I'm recording this, we just hit midnight. And two of the coaches, just like last year, one of the same coaches, and Kevin Phlipot, the head coach at Russia, will talk about his team and about how they're getting ready for the opportunity to take on St. Henry and try to become one of just a small number of teams to win back-to-back titles. It's 20, by the way. Mike Gast, the head coach at St. Henry, was nice enough to talk to me while his phone was dying and while he was watching youth baseball into St. Henry. Hey, you got to build the program up somehow, right? Get to those guys coming up in just a minute. But one big thing that happened last weekend, I want to make sure that I get these kids some pub because no matter how much there is, I really don't feel like there's enough that's done. But one guy who does a ton in this area is Mark Altstetter from the Lima News for the track and field programs. And he had some thoughts from his Lima News article, and it had some results in that. So we'll start off in the Putnam County League. Columbus Grove Bulldogs, second place as a team with Bainbridge's Paint Valley in Division 3. Third time the boys program has been a runner-up. They won the state title in 2003. That was a good year for them. They won the state football title that year as well. This past weekend, Grove got first and second in the discus and third in the shot put. And I love the camaraderie from these three kids. Tad Cook and Lawson Mag, who are both going to do big things in college, plays first and second. Mag's mark was just about 2 feet and an inch shorter than what Cook had, but when Tad was interviewed, he said, this is not mine. This is for Lawson. This is for him pushing me, and this is for what he has done. And their teammate, A.J. Schaefer, who's going to go play collegiate football, he had a pretty good throw as well. He beat the school record in the shot put, and all three of those guys continued to push each other all year and did a tremendous job for the Bulldogs track and field program. Luke Ellerbrock, he said, you know what? I'm going to do the long distance running. He finished fourth in the 3,200, just over 9 minutes and 28 seconds. And then it was the other side of Putnam County, just down 65, the ladies, and specifically Alexa Fortman. She's going to run in college for a reason. Defended her state titles in the 400 at 56 and change, and the 800 at 209 and change. It was warm, from what I'm told, down there. She then came back, and after winning the 800, anchored the 1600 with Olivia Fenbert, Corinne Clausen, and Avery Fox. And what'd they do? They beat the school record of under 4 minutes. That put OG in Division 2 as a team in fourth place. Boys relay in the 3,200-meter side, the long-distance guys finished 11th. Ty Rosengarten also finished 10th in the 3,200 by himself. Mason Vogt, Isaac Mackey, and Ethan Metzger, the other three gentlemen, a part of that. And perhaps the biggest story for just being able to be there. CeCe Warsham, the senior from Temple Christian, as Mark writes, competed in the 100 and 300-meter hurdles and the 200-meter dash. Why is this a big deal, you ask? Well, she finished fourth in the 100-meter hurdles, fourth in the 200-meter dash, which was won by Coldwater's Izzy Zahn. But it's the fact that a couple of days before that, she was in an automobile accident. So I can't imagine what that's like, being in a car wreck and then trying to win a state title. But congratulations to her for persevering. Liv Lindemann placed third in the 100-meter hurdles, fourth in the 300 hurdles. She's got a terrific career at Delphos Jefferson. The Bluffton boys, 3,200-meter relay. They came up short last year, but Eden Antrim, Eric Nygaard, Sam Durstein, and Landon Armstrong came home with the state title and broke the school record. Because if you're going to do it, you might as well break the record. Armstrong finished 5th as an individual in the 800. Durstein finished 13th rather in that same race. Bluffton's relay race crew includes Landon Shuttler. They finished 6th in the 1,600-meter relay. Antrim finished 5th in the 1,600 with a school record of 4:19. That put the Pirates 6th overall in the standings in Division III. Brianna Tabor in the girls' side of things finished in the pole vault number 4. New personal best for her as she jumped over a lot of folks in over 11 feet. Allen East. This is another one of those kind of neat stories. Jacob Hirschberger, Jackson Friesner, Eisen Schaefer, and Trey Hensley. They run a couple of relays. They win the 800 relay in a minute and a half. They come back and they run the 400 relay. They finish 6th. Hirschberger himself places 5th in the 100. But it's Hirschberger and Hensley, as again, Mark Allstetter writes this in the Live News, who played a lot of baseball. And they played baseball well for the Mustangs. They didn't even have a full week of practice until district week. So Mark goes on to say, I wonder what would have happened if they had been solely track guys. Rylan Jones from Allen East finished 5th in the 300 hurdles as well. But the big winner, it's got to be the Marion Local Flyers. The 150th team title for the Midwest Athletic Conference goes to the Flyers. 38 points in 2 days. In front of Grove and Paint Valley. Nate Busher, what did he do? He just set another record. It's pole vault, 15 feet, 10 inches. And one of my favorite athletes, Audubon's Kellen Schlagbaum, who had an ankle injury early on in the season coming out of basketball. Just a heartbreaking end for the Big Green. He ends up being a state titleist in the 300 hurdles. So a lot of things to be proud of. There are tons more results to get to. I just am trying to find them all because I'm not familiar with all the databases. So if you've got them, hit me up. I know Botkins did pretty well too. Maybe I can get their coaches on and talk about that. But when we come back, we'll talk baseball with Kevin Phlipot, the head coach at Russia, and St. Henry's mentor, Mike Gast. All of that when we return here on a special edition Baseball State Finals Around the Hearn.
I'm with Eric McCracken, Lee Kinsel, GM Sales and Service, 650 West Irvin Road, Van Wert. We have left the dealership and we are in a beautiful Buick. Eric, what are we in?
2021 Buick Enclave Avenir, Billy. This thing is the bomb. I tell you what, cruising down Irvin Road, just smooth as ice and a lot of features.
I like the cooled seats. You know, when it's summertime, cooled seats are a nice feature. Keeps my back from getting all sweaty.
Absolutely. This has the cooled seats. It's all-wheel drive, beautiful chestnut interior. These cars are appointed one of the finest luxury cars in the world, and they do have 3 rows of seats. And everybody loves the room this car offers. Big V6 motor, a lot of fun to drive, and they really turn heads.
I noticed the backup camera, but I also noticed a camera overhead. How's that doing that? From a satellite in the sky?
That's the bird's eye view. What it does is uses about 6 cameras around the car. It's a very safe vehicle.
One of the many vehicles waiting for you, Lee Kinsel, GM Sales and Service, 650 West Irvin Road, Van Wert. And remember, find new roads.
Counting down the minutes until we get started with the D4 state semifinals. Russia and St. Henry on tap here in just a few as we talk the Russia side of it with head coach Kevin Phlipot. And is this one different for you guys, or is it? I don't want to say easier, but the fact that you kind of know what to expect routine wise going in.
That way, the logistics part of it, yes, setting everything up. But the season has not been. I mean, it's been different because there were some lofty goals, but expectations by yes, us, you know, the families, the community. I mean, when you win a state title and you're returning 7 starters, the expectations are to, do it again, basically. So there was a burden, a little bit of pressure on these kids' shoulders. And honestly, I don't know if they quite enjoyed it as much as they should have or could have. Because even when we did things, we won bowl games, I don't think they enjoyed it because it was like, we're supposed to win. I mean, that's what that kind of aspect of it. And so they nitpicked on, focused more on the, I guess the negatives than they should have. Like, we're supposed to, everything's supposed to go well for us. We're supposed to be better than last year. And when it didn't, it weighed a burden on some kids.
You guys have won 12 straight postseason games, and kind of to piggyback on what you're saying, everybody talked about coming out of the Newark Catholic game last year. That's a close game, kind of comes down to some execution. You get Lincoln View, and everybody's talking about what Price is going to do to your lineup, and it just kind of didn't happen. You guys took him the limit. You were able to get a 10-4 win. But coming into this season, I don't know that people were giving a defending champion enough respect with 7 starters coming back, and I saw a handful of your kids say, yeah, we're not ranked. That's everybody else's problem. We're just going to go out and win games.
Yeah, I mean, we're not concerned about what people think or if we're the best or if we're not the best. I mean, we're just a confident bunch of kids, a group of kids, and we're experienced, so we're hoping that is that definitely on our side. We know what to expect for the big game situation. So we've been through that. So we're hoping, leaning on that can get us, a slight edge maybe. And then, we're pretty good too. So we'll take our chances, but it's, there's 4 really good teams. So it's anybody's to be had. So we just hope things go our way. We get a break or two, and we'll see what happens.
You guys opened the year 9-0 before your first loss. Is there a point in that streak, or maybe something that came after that, where you kind of thought, all right, we have enough back. I feel like we're going to be dangerous enough that we can make a big run?
I knew it was there the whole time. It's just if we could put it together. I mean, we had a few pieces we were working with, trying to find a new catcher, getting our rotation healthy, things like that. So it was just a couple of the pieces, trying to figure out who's playing where and what guy, one certain guy's pitch was the main thing. You look back as well as with the basketball team. They went to state as well, and I only had one varsity guy at practice for the first 3 weeks. So we had a lot to it was a slow start. We had guys that basically had 3 practices, and then we started scrimmaging. So that was a kind of a slow start, how to work with that for them to, they never had a preseason. So that was the biggest adjustment for us to make.
It's pretty hard to hit that fungo to yourself, right?
It is. It's like they're having such a great season. But yeah, we're supposed to be pretty good too, guys. Let's. I'm ready to start playing some baseball. It was interesting situation, not knowing how to handle that or what the right way was to get guys ready to play as quickly as possible. But yet you wanted them to be, give them a little break from basketball. They're beat up and banged up from that. So. But, we figured it out eventually.
You've got a young core. I mean, anytime you're able to have a sophomore as the conference player of the year for as good as your league is, about Braylon and about Cooper Francis being a freshman, I mean, both guys all league. How are you able to kind of stick them in terms of, I know Braylon played a lot last year, but to stick them into your program and them just kind of get it and produce right out of the gate?
Well, they're both experienced players. I mean, they played a lot of travel ball, and we knew Braylon was pretty good from the get-go. So obviously, he had a great freshman year, and there were high expectations on him. So I think the best thing is, I mean, with they weren't the bulk of Braylon wasn't the bulk of the team last year. He wasn't the key guy. So he kind of was able to ease his way into it. There we had other pieces around him. He just kind of was a puzzle, the part of the puzzle, and then this year, yeah, he's probably one of the best around. So it wasn't that hard for him to take the next step. And then, Cooper Francis was, we just slowly threw him in. We thought he was pretty good. We gave him a little shot. and he just produced, and so he slowly, able to earn his innings right there. And then it was just, obviously Xavier Phlipot leading the pitching staff is, we didn't have to lean on or put too much pressure on any certain guy. We just had enough to just keep giving everybody plenty of work and see what everybody can do.
And you've got 4 guys with Xavier, Braylon, and Ross at the top of that 3 that,
Yes.
5-1, 6-1, 7-0, they all have a save for the most part too. How much more dangerous does that make you guys in that one guy might not be having his best day? You're not maybe having to worry about, okay, I can't do this innings-wise or pitch-wise, but I've got more guys I can plug in there and quote-unquote will be fine.
Yeah, I told the guys that we got plenty of pitching. I said, if you're not throwing strikes, we're moving on. So, they need to be on top of it, and they know. And at the same time, they're not looking over their shoulder. They just know if they don't have it, somebody else will come in and pick up where they left off. So it was, and it's a great asset, especially this last week. It was as hot as it could be. It pushing 90 and hasn't been that way all year. So that was a big adjustment. And we were struggling a little bit. Guys were getting a little weak, and we were ready to have the bullpen. Cooper Francis was thrown, he threw a couple innings in the bullpen both days, and then playing on that turf at Wright State when I was 90. My feet were burning down there. So it's nice to know you got options and really good options. If somebody just isn't on.
I'm sure that you've been asked this a million times, but I personally love the story behind this of your wife is from St. Henry.
Yes, she is.
Is she going? She's 100% Rushi though for this one, right?
She's been here 20 years. She's 100% Rushi. That's right. So she's from St. Henry, but she's blended in here quite well. So that's not even an option for her.
That is, unless you do something between tonight and tomorrow afternoon.
Right.
Last, I want to ask you, you obviously have seen St. Henry. They're right down the road. You guys saw them earlier on in the year. That's an early game in April at the Invitational. Is there anything you can take out of that, or are you guys and are they so different from that point that it's just, you know what, throw out the ball at 4 o'clock, let's go?
Yeah, same but different. I say mostly it's you can't rely on too much of what you saw that early in the season, and mainly because none of us threw I shouldn't say anybody, but not anybody who had many innings on the game or on the year. So pitching wise, maybe you can learn a few tendencies. Their coach calls the pitches, that type of thing, but it's not something to get shook up about with whatever happened then. So I'm just looking forward to a good game. I have seen them. I've been fortunate enough being able to watch them on TV, their regional games. So I'm more focused on those games than what we did against them.
You seem calm for the fact that we're less than 24 hours away from a state semi.
People ask me, I don't get nervous, and I have good feelings and bad feelings, and, feel a little more negative, more positive at times, but I don't get too nervous. I'm if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not, it's not. It's just, they're 18-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids. Just try to put them in the best situation, and hopefully for them, it goes well. They can enjoy the moment and, and try to have fun doing it, and just sit back and watch them play and hopefully perform under a very pressured situation.
Well, I wish you guys all the best of luck.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for the time.
We'll talk more about this matchup when we come back here in just a few.
Are you ready for an adventure? Experience the Midwest's only drive-through safari park located in Port Clinton, Ohio. Go to www.africansafariwildlifepark.com for more information.
For the first time in 20 years, talking about St. Henry getting to the state semifinals with the head coach in Mike Gast, who is about as connected to not only this program, but to those titles in 99, 2000, and 03 as you can get. Your brothers are obviously a big part of that, 99, 2000, 2003 with Bill and Adam. What's this one like for this one to be? I don't want to say, I don't mean this for the kids, but about you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, as close as connected, not being able to actually get to play in those myself. But, yeah, it's that my childhood was tagging along and watching my older brothers play baseball and really wanting to be like them. And, those guys were my heroes. And I'm fortunate enough to have a couple of my brother Billy's teammates on staff, actually, and Neil Schmitz and Kyle Kunk, Joe Worms, Brad Hilsman, Greg Schwartz. All those guys are 99 or 2000 guys that were part of those teams. So it's special to have them a part of this. It's not about me. It's about our kids, and they've put a lot of work in, and they deserve this opportunity. And we're just really looking forward to having the experience this week.
I just assumed maybe you got held back, and that's why you weren't a freshman on the 03 team.
No, he's that was a pretty talented 03 team. I think they ended up batting like 403 for the year, which is pretty absurd. I think Todd Beckman had 18 home runs, 66 RBIs as a second team All-Ohio guy, which is a little bit strange, but yeah, it was a fun group to watch. That's a
story for another day. We can commiserate about that for another day.
Yeah.
Oh, the All-Ohio voting is a whole other thing.
Something.
But you guys have a lot of those kind of teams in a way, specifically the 99 team, which stole everything that they could find. You have 99 stolen bases going into the state Final Four. They had 120. I wouldn't think you're going to have enough of a green light to get to that point, but baseball's a funny game.
I don't think that's going to happen, but we've had a really good year on the bases, and we're fortunate enough to have some really good athletes with good speed, and they're smart baseball players and are able to attack teams on the bases as well.
And it's odd that it's two teams during the regular season. You're not very far apart. Obviously, within half an hour with Russia, and I know a lot of people want to talk about geography. It's actually further.
Right.
You guys could actually just go to Coldwater or something, and maybe just kind of hang out there in the semis.
Yep, I've heard that all week. Different. Why don't you guys just play at Minster or Fort Laramie or whatever? But it's close, but it's going to be a really cool experience. I'm sure for both teams to get the chance to play there, and obviously Russia's been there before, so it'll be a neat experience, and I'm sure we'll travel well. I guess Russia travels well as well, so it'll be fun tomorrow.
It's almost exactly equidistant. It's 205 miles for them, 202 for you. That's weird.
That is strange. I would have guessed it'd be a little bit farther for them.
But at least from the schools. But, you look at the tradition of St. Henry. Obviously, you know well about John Dorner. St. Henry, one of only 13 schools to have won 3 state titles in baseball. It's not necessarily about that, but I think it's always fun to bring in those kind of things because Russia has that. You've got, obviously, some family and cousin connections and all of that of, hey, we're just going to bring our brand of baseball to Akron, put it in this really big, nice park, and hope we have 2 really good afternoons.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be fun, and we're expecting a really good game from a very good team, and it's special. There's a lot of family connections here, and it's something about small school baseball that it's different, and it's really tough to describe unless you're part of these communities that are behind their schools and really attuned to the community. And really the school is so much part of the community, and the athletics programs, make our kids into young men and young women, and it's special.
Kevin said that he doesn't think there's necessarily a lot that he could take from playing you guys back in April in terms of you maybe both threw relievers more than guys who would be normal starters. But he had seen you play in the regionals on TV. How long did that regional game, which was about 2 hours or so, how long did that feel like in your life, though? Because you jump out big early, and then you kind of have to pull one from here, pull one from there to win by 3.
Yeah, things got a little bit stressful there, and it actually happened in the district finals as well. We had a couple of tough plays towards the end against Marion Local, and made a couple of say uncharacteristic mistakes towards the end of that Delta St. John's game. Certainly a little bit stressful. I think Coach Schmitz on the bench might have been more so stressed than others. I went out there in the seventh inning to kind of calm everybody down, and Drew Schwederman felt like that was a good time to play a joke on our dugout, and acted like he was walking over to the dugout to get a different glove to pitch, which Drew has not pitched in his high school career. So, Coach Schmitz was freaking out at that point. But, it's one of those things, you're better for it. It's a tough situation to work through, but hopefully we learn from that and can kind of right the ship here and play a complete game Thursday, and then hopefully Saturday as well.
That's so funny, because you can tell Drew that he got me, because I looked down and I said, wait a second, where is he going? And I even was talking about on the broadcast of, okay, he went out to talk, and I said, I'm not sure that other coaches have said they go out and tell a joke or try to lighten the mood. And I said, I'm not sure how many jokes that he knows, but the kids seem to at least be amused on the mound right now.
Well, I mean, the first thing that, I went out there, and Logan Link was playing shortstop for us, and just started the same way I was going to. There's runners at second and third, and Logan came in and said, those runners don't mean anything. He's like, it's absolutely right. Yeah. Good to go here. And then Drew followed it up with, should I change my glove, coach? I said, yeah, you're going in, Drew. Good time for it. But no, I had no idea that he had left kind of our meeting there. I was looking at the scouting report, talking the guys through the next couple of batters, and apparently, Drew decided that he was going to go play a little joke. But it's good. It's a really fun group. Drew is among the characters on our team that likes to keep things light, which in general is a pretty good thing for us.
Well, and it's like I said, I was sitting there and I just started going through my notes real quick, and I thought, when was the last time that he pitched? What's going on here? And then when he eventually turns around and you head towards the dugout to watch the rest of them, I was even questioning. I said, this can't be a situation where he would take Devin out. This is your guy. And then when you walked out and he went back to first and just stood there, I thought, well, that's pretty good.
Drew and I had a deal last season that if we ever got up by 30, he could pitch. He talked me down to 25 runs this year, which we haven't been able to get to, and I don't expect it this weekend either. But
unless you steal 30 bases.
He's a lot of fun. It's probably the truth. No, it's just a really fun game. Honestly, it's as fun of a group as I've been around, and I mean, it's going to be sad to see it come to an end one way or the other.
Yeah, it is an oddity. I mean, you guys got to 14, so you got almost halfway there when you beat St. John's.
That's right. Yeah, we got 14 a few times, I think, but yeah, he'll go down to the bullpen after warming up occasionally and throw a few pitches with his warm-up partner. That's about the extent of his pitching.
You just kind of look down there at this point and just say, he's harmless, whatever.
Yeah, no, he's a good kid. He's a good kid.
Is it making it a lot easier? You've obviously, you talk about your coaching staff. You've got guys who are connected, who have been big pieces of this program, and then what John has done. And for you, being an assistant, seeing these kids grow up. I mean, you're at youth baseball right now as we're talking, of just kind of continuing to get to know them as people, and it makes it easier to kind of interact with as players.
Sure. We got, including myself, we got 9 coaches, which is, quite a lot for, I think, most Division IV programs. But I mean, I like to have a lot of guys around to, tell me I'm wrong in different situations, or at least have, at least have some different opinions. And they do that. And then, that's what I want from them. And it makes our practices so much better and gives us so much more flexibility to have those guys. But yeah, obviously those guys going through, this process and understanding what it takes to be successful is extremely valuable, for the kids on our team right now. And obviously Coach Dorner means so much to all of us. He taught us the game so very well, and I was fortunate to play and coach for him. There's not too many guys that know the game better than him. And I think we were able to at least get a fraction of that with our time with Coach.
What was that like looking across the dugout, though, the first time that he's got that green color on and you're thinking just, hey, wait a second, what's going on here?
That's a little weird. He spent so much time here and obviously had so much success and so many wins. So it's a little strange. But at the end of the day, it's about the kids, our kids, his kids, and I think Coach Dorner knows that, and just trying to put these young men in a position to succeed.
I think the joke, by the way, about the 9 coaches is if you really need someone to tell you you're wrong, just go home.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. No, actually,
kid's wife, somebody will tell you.
Gosh, my wife's been an absolute saint with this season. We're over 8 months pregnant right now, expecting in about 3 weeks, hopefully 3 or 4 weeks. So to have her pregnant and handling a large share of the parenting duties while I'm missing 4 or 5 nights a week on bedtime, just having games or potentially going and scouting games. She's been amazing. I'm very lucky to have her.
I mean, that's a heck of a thing because you're close enough. My own daughter was born a couple weeks early. I mean, maybe Saturday night when you guys get back to St. Henry.
That'd be all right. If we can, at least hold off to the end of this week. That'd be good.
Yeah, I can only imagine the thought going through your head while that's going on.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Okay.
She'll be there. My daughter will be there. It'll be neat to have them there, and I think Akron has hospitals as well. So
I would imagine there's maybe a couple. That'll be a neat thing later on, though, because you can be like, hey, sure. Not that long before you were born, you were at hopefully a state championship game.
That'd be a pretty neat story to tell. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I appreciate you. I always enjoy talking to you. I wish you guys luck this week.
Yep, thank you very much, Mike.
That's the head coach's phone is dying in Mike Gast. More in just a couple of minutes. Are you looking for a place to store your stuff? Then look no further than Pearson Road Storage. Pearson Road Storage, located at 8495 Pearson Road in Convoy, just off Route 30, has 24/7 access with no deposit required. The premier self-storage facility in Van Wert County is a well-lit facility with month-to-month leases. If you'd like to fill out an application or give them a call, 419-605-8708 or PearsonRoadStorage.com. Sizes range from a 10 to 15 overhead door, a 9 by 19 walk-in unit, 10 by 25 overhead doors, or bulk spacing. Give Kevin a call at 419-605-8708 or find Pearson Road Storage online, PearsonRoadStorage.com, Van Wert County's premier self-storage facility. As always, a big thank you to Kevin and Mike for coming on the show, and to you for listening, and to Lee Kinsel. They're doing a lot of cool things, by the way, over in Van Wert at the football field. I hope that it is done sometime soon and that everybody is able to see it. One other thing I want to mention on the way out, shout out to all of the senior softball players in the Western Buckeye League and everywhere. Last week, unfortunately, Anthony Wayne fell in the finals to Austintown Fitch. And in the D4 finals, it was Hopewell Loudon trying to pick off a perfect season after they beat Parkway 9-1 in the semis. Unfortunately, they fell to Franklin 8-2. Just was not their night, but a big weekend for the softball girls as well in Akron. Now it'll be the baseball boys who will take over in Akron, and a lot of things. I'm really looking forward to this D4 game. D1 has got Moeller and Walsh Jesuit. Winner gets Orange or Anthony Wayne. Anthony Wayne again. That's a terrific story. Saw Tyler Segerman put across in Toledo on WTOL. That's They have a catcher on the boys' side and a young lady, his sister, who was playing for the softball team. And I think she hit a home run last weekend. D4's got Russia in St. Henry Thursday at 4 o'clock. You can hear it live on K94. Winner will get Tiffin Calvert or Berlin Highland, the number 1 and number 3 team in the state in the last rankings. Championship game on Saturday at 1. Again, you can hear it on K94 regardless of who wins on Thursday. D2, Chaminade Julienne and Kenston, Washington Courthouse in Ontario. Ontario is about the unlikeliest state semifinalist you'll find. They were 3-9 at one point in the season. They're 16-14 now, trying to get to that championship game. Waynedale and Toledo, Ottawa Hills, the Green Bears against either Heath or Harrison Central. That's what we've got, but thank you to you for listening. Hit me up on Twitter, on Facebook as well. Both of those are there. And let me know what you want to hear, who you want to hear from. But for now, have a great night and even better tomorrow. As always, a big thank you to Kevin and Mike for coming on the show and to you for listening, and to Lee Kinsel. They're doing a lot of cool things, by the way, over in Van Wert at the football field. I hope that it is done sometime soon and that everybody is able to see it. One other thing I want to mention on the way out, shout out to all of the senior softball players in the Western Buckeye League and everywhere. Last week, unfortunately, Anthony Wayne fell in the finals to Austintown Fitch. And in the D4 finals, it was Hopewell Loudon trying to pick off a perfect season after they beat Parkway 9-1 in the semis. Unfortunately, they fell to Franklin 8-2. Just was not their night, but a big weekend for the softball girls as well in Akron. Now it'll be the baseball boys who will take over in Akron, and a lot of things. I'm really looking forward to this D4 game. D1 has got Moeller and Walsh Jesuit. Winner gets Orange or Anthony Wayne. Anthony Wayne again. That's a terrific story. Saw Tyler Segerman put across in Toledo on WTOL. That's they have a catcher on the boys' side and a young lady, his sister, who was playing for the softball team. And I think she hit a home run last weekend. D4's got Russia in St. Henry Thursday at 4 o'clock. You can hear it live on K94. Winner will get Tiffin Calvert or Berlin Highland, the number 1 and number 3 team in the state in the last rankings. Championship game on Saturday at 1. Again, you can hear it on K94 regardless of who wins on Thursday. D2, Chaminade Julienne and Kenston, Washington Courthouse in Ontario. Ontario is about the unlikeliest state semifinalist you'll find. They were 3-9 at one point in the season. They're 16-14 now, trying to get to that championship game. Waynedale and Toledo, Ottawa Hills, the Green Bears against either Heath or Harrison Central. That's what we've got, but thank you to you for listening. Hit me up on Twitter, on Facebook as well. Both of those are there. And let me know what you want to hear, who you want to hear from. But for now, have a great night and even better tomorrow.